everybody. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Joey Evans.
Today we're taking a look at this heavy box called A Wayfarer's Tale.
It's crazy.
The Journey Begins. Deluxe edition. Maybe that's why it's so heavy. I don't think so, though.
No, it's deceivingly heavy.
Yeah, I think this game actually was a print and play. It was, because it won the Board Game Geek Best Print and Play in 2023.
And I could totally see that.
This is a roll and write, and I wasn't kind of expecting it because it doesn't look like it, and it's a pretty big, giant type
heavy
board that you're looking at, and you're putting cubes on your board and dice on your board, and then you're drawing on a map.
Right.
Well, none of that might make sense. Joey's going to show you how to play it.
Okay, we are set up for a game of Wayfarer's Tale right now. I'm going to do a quick overview. I'm not going to go into all the rules. I'm going to kind of give you a feel of how the game is played. First off, this is map 1. There are several maps in here, and they all have different difficulty and things like that. I'll go into that in a moment. But also, you get a very nice tray that has everything in here that you're going to need. Very well organized. But now let's go into how the game is played. First off, it is a roll and write. So you're going to write on this and go forward with that. You're going to choose your starting point right here by a dice, and then you're going to go ahead and you have to try to visit all these different towns. The game is over when someone visits all the towns, which are 11 on this map, or they have 3 miss rolls. Then the game is over and you count up your score. So let's go into how the game is played. First off, you're going to have 3 different white dice and a red die. Now, the active player is going to roll that, place the red die right here. And that is your dice roll now. The active player gets to use this in their pool. Everyone else just gets to use these 3. If these 3 are the same number, you're going to re-roll it. So now you're going to use 2 different die to activate one of these different travelers here. And this traveler is going to show you where you can go on the map. For example, the coachman can only go right here into these spaces here. So he could go green right here, or he could go gray. So he could go up here, or he could go down here. The merchant, well, he won't help me here because he can only go into sand. So I would probably going to use him if I have to go up here. She can go into water. So everyone here can go somewhere different. You're going to activate somebody different depending on where you want to go and where you want to branch out from here. Now, where can you move? Well, I start here on this right here. So I will go ahead and mark this. I'm going to start here. And then I can then travel off and go any direction I want to from this town. Now, once I travel out here, if I travel, say I travel up here and I'm here, I can go back, I can go over to this town. And once I get here, then I can make new routes. So I have to have one route from here. I can't have like 2 or 3 from where I get here. So if I were to go here, here, and here, I can't then go down here. You can only sprout out from town. So once I get here, then I can sprout out however I want to. So I can go up, and then now I want to go here, then go down from here. Okay, so you can only leave towns starting your route, but your route has to continue to towns. So eventually you're going to want to try to get to all of these towns. Okay, so let's briefly go into how to activate each of these. Now, luckily you do have a player aid. Let's see if I can get this to focus on there. Ooh, there we go. This is going to tell you exactly what all the companions do here. But you're going to use 2 different things. The coachman is going to travel around here, and every single time the die value of 2 has to be higher as you go forward and go around. So you aren't going to want to start with something very high like 11 because you won't make it. It has to be equal or higher. So maybe I could grab this as a 4 and place a 4 here. I would take this guy right here, place it as a 4. If I wanted to do that, then the next time, move him, I can make it a 5. I can make it go up, and you keep going around there. Now, you are going to see different segments here. We'll get to those in a moment. But you will see this is the tavern. Well, the coachman likes to stop by taverns. So, in order to get past this, you have to go ahead and visit a tavern. Where are the taverns? Well, the taverns are over here and here. So, once you do that, you're going to place a cube here, meaning he can now go further along his track. So you have to visit these in order for him to go further. Now, the merchant here, merchant is very simple. You're going to choose this. Say this is a 4 right here. And I could go ahead and drop a cube anywhere in this 4 line. So just like I could drop it like that. Or I could go ahead, make it a 9. And I could drop it anywhere here. Now, notice there are different monsters here. I'll go to those in a moment. And treasures. So let's actually go to the monsters here. The monsters here are going to work different than the other ones. So if you were to complete one of these rows, then you would roll a treasure die. A treasure die is this blue die right here. So I roll that. It's a horrible, horrible roll. Then I'm going to get 1 victory point, so I move this up 1. Now, what's lucky is at different places I can get rerolls right here, or I can get doubles. So if I have this, and I can grab these different places on the map we're going to give them, so I would then be able to, that's a terrible roll. Let's say I rolled I'm really good at this right now. You know what? Let's say I rolled a 5. I would use that, and I could make that 5 into a 10. I have just got 10 victory points. Now, monsters work the opposite way. Monsters here work that I have to then roll this, just like this, and that's a 4. All right, so I would deduct 4 points from that. So that, as soon as you place a cube on here, you have to deduct 4 points. Also, the shields can be gotten from various areas. Once you have that, that says a reroll. I say, I don't like that 4. Get rid of it. Roll again. Man, I'm just nailing it today. So, all right, so that's what those shields do. Those help you kind of with these. So those deduct points, and as you finish a row and a column, which if you finish both, awesome, you get to roll it twice. So these do up here is just what keeps track of how many towns you visited. Right here, you visited 1 town. You can visually look at that. But now let's look at the guide. What the guide does, the guide is very simple. You're going to start here, and this one has to be greater than or equal to 5, 7, 9, and on up. Now, let's go ahead and go over what the monsters and the gems do here. A little bit different. This one, no matter what number or value that is how many hits you take, how many victory points you're going to go down. So this is greater than or equal to 3. If I were to later, once I go all the way through this, place a 6 on here, then I would deduct 6 points. Now, differently, right here, these little gems, if I were to place has to be greater than or equal to 9. If I were to place an 11 on here, well, I get 11 victory points. So that's what these do here, and they also do up here. Notice these monsters are further along on the track as the number will be higher, so you will be taking more hits. All right, so that's what these 3 do. And the adventurer here, he's going to start at the bottom of the mountain, and you have to go ascending value, so you can go like 3, 5, 8, and then you go back down, and you finish that mountain. You can do the same thing here, but when you start a new mountain, it could be a new value, whatever you want to. So we can start that with a 6. You have to keep going up to the top and then descending back down. And the same thing happens here. Here giving you ×2 on whatever die that is. And then going back down. And finally, the sailor. The sailor, she can only go right here into water spaces. That's how she gets around. Everything for her, she just has to roll doubles. So if you roll any double, you can activate her. Just like that, and drop it. And then you slowly go through there. And she's also going to give you the rewards there as well. So that's it. You just look at the die rolls here, and then you're going to choose who to activate, really depending on where you want to go, and you're going to kind of branch out and go further and further and further and go different places. You're going to try to visit all these towns. You're going to pick up treasures along the way, marking them here. You're also going to pick up some shields along the way, marking them here, grab your taverns. And you'll notice on this one, like I said, every map is different. This one has collection bonuses. These are given to the first person to go find both of the towns that are in a desert. Then right here, all 3 in the green get 6 points. So these are different collection bonuses for the first person. Now, one other thing I will go into that we're not using right here, and that is a tavern deck. As you visit these taverns, if you are using the optional tavern, which I really recommend you do, you're going to get these different cards. And you're going to get different cards here that some may give you an additional traveler, and also others will kind of give you a different ability you can do. So I'm not going to show you all these. You can discover these on your own. Like the Hermit here. Hermit lives in solitude. Tells you all about him. At in-game, score 3 points for each unvisited city. All right, let's see if I can actually get that to focus on there. There we go. So all of these right here, Globetrotter. So right here, now you'll notice the plus right here. Now, some of these will then give you another traveler here. So these are going to give you other options. This is where she can go, the Globetrotter. Diplomat does certain things as well, Charlatan, and the Mercenary. So these are going to be different people you can pick up in the tavern if you use the tavern deck, which I do think it's a very easy thing to add on. And that's it. So the active player is going to move around. Next person is going to roll all 4. Only the active player gets to add this red into their pool. Everybody else chooses from these 3. And you activate different people moving around the map. And eventually the game is over when someone visits 11 towns or goes to a misroll. Oh, I didn't mention misrolls. Misrolls are if you look at them and you can't activate anybody. For example, if you've seen you can't branch out to any of these or you choose not to. If you cannot move, then you're going to check off that misroll. And once someone does that 3 times, the game will end, or they have visited 11 towns. Then you're going to get points for the total towns visited, the longest route, and then your different score track value. These are ones you get throughout the game. Total that up, any collection bonuses in there, and there you have got the total to see who wins. Now, let me show you the other maps here. I'm not going to go into all the details. These do have different complexity. You'll notice here the difficulty here is very simple. You've got map 4. Look at that. Map 3. A lot of different things. There's a lot of variety in here that you will explore. And look at this. This is the final map. Map 5. Frozen North. And then you've got map 2. So there's a lot in here. And again, all of these have a lot of different packets in there. And there's also a solo campaign. If you do decide to play this solo, there's different solo cards you can use. So, all right. So anyway, that is not all the rules, but is a quick overview about how to play A Wayfarer's Tale. Let's send it back and see what we thought about it.
All right. So roll and write. I tend to not love roll and writes. I don't mean that in a bad way. I like them fine.
I think it's overdone.
But very few of them, I'm like, these are great. There's very few great ones.
100%. I agree.
Flip Town is great. There's a few other I think are fantastic. But most of the time I'm like, yeah, it was fine.
It's oversaturation because they're pretty easy to create, and not saying that, but there's a lot out there.
No, they're pretty easy to create.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to create as a design perspective, but they're pretty easy to produce. They're often just a sheet with some dice. But I will say, this one has a different feel to it. Yes, it's a roll and write, but it didn't have to be per se.
No.
You could have a board in front of you and you're marking stuff because it's more about picking the dice and where they're at. And that's kind of a fascinating thing. You're pushing your luck.
Yes.
As you take these dice in the middle and you say, okay, I got some low numbers, so I'm going to start, but here I want high numbers. Maybe I should, is 6 too big of a number to start this trek here?
Right. You have that push your luck thing. I think that this incorporates several things that I love about any game, really, where you all have the same starting spot, and then there's the branches. It's not the same here, but you all start, but you branch differently. You're using the same group of dice, and then, but the one person has the extra red dice they can use. I really enjoy that because at the end, everyone is somewhere different on the map, and they've locked off certain towns they can't go to. Man, it's just, this has so much that I remember playing it the first time, I think, with you, and I was just like, this is great.
Yeah, it's interesting because the numbers that you are rolling and taking down, on one hand, you're trying to make this perfect route where you go by and get everything you need to get and avoiding stuff, which gets harder from map to map.
Yes.
But you're making this perfect route. On the other hand, you're like, forget the perfect route. I want to go to the bar or go get that treasure or go do this. I don't need to get that stuff, but I want to get it. Or I just want to go in this spot just to get a better number, which will give me more points. And having points hurt you and help you, you need to know the best time to do it. And I've never seen a game where I'm like getting as many negative points as I get in this one, and I'm okay with it because I'm just I'm like, oh, I'll get 5 negative. But then I'm going to get 9 positive and then 8 more positive.
That balance is great. When you see that monster coming up, it's like, I can't have that high, but because you have the reward coming up too. And when do you use the shields? When do you double your treasure? All of that goes in to, again, I like how you say you look for the perfect route and then you give up on it because you want to go by the tavern.
Well, you can go the perfect route. I'm saying you don't have to, though.
No. You don't go by a tavern and get you somebody. And again, that is one thing I'll always play with is having the tavern deck out there because I think it adds that variability.
Oh, my word. Well,
it shouldn't be optional.
I agree. It is my favorite to have a person with an ability to move that no one else does. But the good thing I like about this a lot is they're not that amazing.
No.
And they usually come, or they are amazing, and you're like, this is incredible. Why has no one taken it? Oh, you get a lot of negative points with this card.
Yes.
I'm still going to use it.
It's so good. And
I will say the pick up and delivery ones I didn't find to be very interesting.
No, because they kind of give you
deliver it to this space on the board. Woo.
Yeah, and I like how you get 2 and you choose 1. So
that's good. And so the pickup and delivery, I'll choose if I'm going that direction or I've been there already.
Right.
Then yes. Otherwise, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna work with. I'd rather have the special ability.
Same here, 100%. I want that other track I can go up there to use. And I will say, comparatively, I think I look at this. I see that so clever in there, and then I also see like Hadrian's Wall because I love that. But it's so smooth.
It's not as complex as Hadrian's
Not even
Wall,
close.
And I don't even know if it's as strategic. You're kind of guided by. You're moving on your path. You're likely not going to be branching off too often if you can help it. You will if you have to.
No, yeah.
But your guidance, you're like, I need a mountain or a sand on my next thing. Okay, those are the dice rolled. Does mountain work? Not really. Does the desert work? Oh, yeah, that kind of works. So there's a lot of that in the game. And it might go on a little longer than people might say. It says 45 to 60. With 4 players, you're definitely going to be tilting into that 60. I don't mind that at all, but it might be a slight longer than some people like.
It is. Now, we'll say production, we didn't talk about that much. Production value is great on this from something that came from a print and play. I love the little circles that you just put the red die in the middle, and it's probably one of the most useless components, but it's great that you have it in there.
Yeah.
So component-wise, it's great. And the
I like
different
it.
maps.
And we do have the deluxe version of it,
Right,
too, and all
right.
that. So, but overall, I think it's a very fun game. I think it stands above most of the roll and writes that I have played.
100%.
It is bigger. It's interesting. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I like that there's different maps. I feel like that will keep you the same map all the time. I think would get old.
Yeah.
But jumping from map to map and how each map has some special rules, I think that's pretty cool. And obviously, it's open up that if they can make more maps, and I bet there's ones online that you can download and stuff. But I think it's a very enjoyable game.
All right, I'm coming higher than I'm coming in at 9 on this.
Whoa.
I really like this game, and I knew it for halfway through the first time playing it because so many decisions on that, and then when do you raise that die value as it goes around the track? Then you've got the mountain. Every part of that I enjoy. And then when you get to a town, you can then branch out again. So you can get, I know you can do one track, but having that several that spider out, just getting that perfect combination of points, I think this is great. And there's a lot of play in this game.
Well, there you go,
is great.
folks. That is A Wayfarer's Tale. The journey begins. That means there's more coming.
So much more. I hope so.
I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Joey Evans.
We're off on a trip.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.